Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.
What's up, man? You staying warm over there? How are you?
Yeah. This cold snap, I'm ready for it to end. But had a great weekend this weekend. My wife's grandmother turned 100 years old, so we celebrated her over the weekend. And great woman, former Rosie the Riveter during the war, so an icon in our area. And Connie Palacio is well worth the weekend.
100-year-old, man, still running strong. Probably still beat us in a race, huh? Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great lady. I love her, man. What she stands for, like you said, during the war. Saw the post, the article, and all that. Just a great influence, man. Great
absolutely.
influence to this area. Speaking of great influences, man, we got a guy coming on here in a minute who comes with high regards. Our friends Pedity and Verbs, plus the rest of the world. ESPN's heard about this guy. He's been around for a while, making some great music. I love it when you can bring an artist that has the love for God, and it's also a great musician, a great lyricist, just a great person. I got hooked on Never Lose, man. I played the song at the gym all the time. It's this great workout song now. Of course, Good Time he's known for. And then my sweetheart song, Forever Love. This guy's got a lot of range. You got this Barry White, old school rap, almost, I want to say a tone look mixed with new stuff, also even mixed with some reggae. This guy's got this blend that you just can't ask for a better blend of music. So when I asked him and he said yes, I said, Dane, I know it's AFC Championships, but we got to get this guy on because he's definitely worth it. So without wasting any more time, it's my joy to bring on Eddy Puyol. How you doing, my friend?
Man, what an intro, brother. I appreciate the love, man. Real talk.
All true, man. All true. How are you, man? You staying warm over there in Florida?
Man, Florida, you know it, man. Flip-flops and tees on, baby. That's how it goes.
We're a little bit jealous of your weather. It's about 6 degrees and climbing here in Kansas, man. But again, Eddy, I appreciate what you're doing. Like I said, your influence is far and wide. Thank you for taking time to do this. We've got a question set. We're gonna jump right into it, man, because I know it's a big day. I've been watching you for a while, man. What you do, your musical style, it is eclectic, diverse, and just talented. When did you take me back, if you will, when you got the love for this? When did you begin making music? How did all this begin for you as you are an artist now?
Listen, I'm a product of hip hop. I was born in 79. Hip hop was birthed, 73, but to the world, 79. So I kind of grew up with the art. When I was 11, I walked into a non-denominational church with my family, saw 3 dudes on stage rapping, and I looked at my mom saying, I want to do that. So the rest is history. I started doing it at 11 for the Lord, got caught in some things, as temptation lures a lot of us. So glad that I came back tail end of 99 and been on fire ever since, bro. It's been a joy to produce, music for God and for people. I'm a big believer that those who are representing the faith need to be able to interject into the culture what they believe, and in a way that is like super respected. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So glad you dig that Never Lose, man, because that's that.
Oh man, it's good, dude. It's a great, and I'm saying it before Dane takes two. What I meant, what I said. There's a time I grew up. I remember the time when it was either good music or good lyrics, but you didn't have the blend of both. I remember, like I said, Pedity told us this too. It's okay to be what you believe and be a great artist at the same time. I love that about you, that you're not a sellout. You do both. You're a great musician, great lyricist, and you're on fire for God. So Dane, I love this guy, Dane. Go ahead, Dane.
Yeah. Of all the things that you've written and you're proud of, and we've just scratched the surface of a lot of the great things that you've done. I've listened to a few of your songs, like A Cadillac is one of the ones I enjoy listening to. What is maybe an album that always sticks out in your mind that you, even though you wrote it and you know every lyric by heart, what is one of the ones that you possibly go back and can listen to over and over again, and whatever, you just need maybe a pick-me-up?
Right. Yeah. Well, I would probably go on records because I have so many songs that, one thing that kind of brings me back, ironically, you pick my pocket, it would be Like a Cadillac, because that voice that I sampled is mine. So that's a younger Eddy, that wrote this lyric back in 2003, recorded it in 2004, record was popping, and then I revisited in 2011 when I dropped the album No Ordinary Love, gave it, a fresh spin. The beat that you hear now, is just sped up with my voice. So I think about what young Eddy said back then, that I'm flossing Jesus like a Cadillac sitting on 24s. And I I just go, man, God, you're so faithful. Like
Yeah.
I wrote something a while ago that was a statement, for me as a believer and a street dude. And I'm like, look, this is how I'm living life. This is how I want people to know, me as that I'm big, bold, and really about that life. So when it came down to reproducing the record in this kind of fashion, I wanted to get a Cadillac sitting on 24s, and young Eddie's over there smiling, you know what I mean? Thinking
Yeah.
he wrote this lyric, years ago, and here I am now taking it from him, putting a spin on it, man, and doing
That's
exactly what
awesome,
he
man.
said with the visuals, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
super thankful, man, for, my Miami city crew down south, man, that, put the whole thing together. My dog D, that let me use his whip juice for the plug. And of course, my barbershop, Barber's Edge, they connected the whole piece together. So
Wow.
God's into the details, man. So that one
Oh
always
yeah.
warms my heart. And then I start my verse with one of my favorite Bible verses, and it's one of those things that I teach my kids all the times, man. It's out of Psalms, and I go, "This is the day that the Lord has made, so I'm a
Hmm.
rejoice and be glad in
Yep.
it." And that is something that I teach my kids all the time. Choose
Yeah.
this day what you want to do, what you want to live out, how you want to feel, how you want to act, operate. Takeaways. What do you want to gain from it? You know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
make sure that you're committed to the Lord. So it's
I
a
love it.
joy, man. It's a joy.
Man,
Yeah.
I love it, man. I think your story, the influence of what you're, this net, that this shadow that you're casting, man. Because like you said, you're not afraid to admit, you're a real dude. We all have real
Yeah.
lives, and the fact that you're teaching your kids, it's so cool now. Because as you said, now the generation, the OG Eddie, if you will, and now new
Right.
fresh Eddie, right? The kids
Right.
get to see that, to see this, what you've morphed into, and your influence is huge, man. There's not a lot of high caliber talented dudes like you that are on this side of it, and I think that's really cool. When I think about influence,
Yeah.
as I told Dane, what I hear a mix, man. I hear things like Warren G, Nate Dogg. I do hear, honestly, some Barry White.
Yeah.
Then I hear some newer stuff too. I really do. I hear a little bit, even like, to me, I hear Migos a little bit. I hear this blend that I can't put my finger on. If you had to pick, maybe a couple artists that really influence
Right.
you, who is your go-tos? Because I can't put a finger on it.
Right. Well, I tell everybody, man, if you want to kind of figure me out, it is definitely, Tupac mixed with Barry White, Sade, Bob Marley, and the Police.
Okay.
You put them in a bottle, shake them up, man, pound. That's kind of what you get out of me,
Yeah.
And it's wild because I love music. So I'm not just like, one type of
Right.
style artist. I love music, so I'm very eclectic. And I'm not just like a hip hop artist, I'm an artist. So
Yeah.
if I'm feeling to do reggae, I'm gonna do reggae. If I'm
Yeah.
feeling to tap into my culture, I'm Cuban. So if I want to do, salsa reggaeton, I'm gonna do it. If
Yeah.
I want to do some hardcore hip hop, I'm gonna do it. I
Yeah.
love the bass. I'm definitely a bass head, man. So I like the
I
the
love
trunk
that.
shake a bit.
I love it, man.
Nice.
See what I mean, Dane? It's
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Whenever you're writing, where does a lot of your inspiration come from? Is it experience you've had in life? Is it things you see in the world now? Or is it just kind of whenever you start to write, does just something hit you and you just pick up the pen and paper and start writing? Where does a
Yeah.
lot of that inspiration come from?
You pick my pocket. A lot of it it's a blend. I'm a vibe artist. I'm not
Mhm.
a guy that wants to put an album together like in book form. You know what I mean? Shout out to Urban D. My dog Tommy Cologne, pastor of Crossover Church. He's great at that. Like he can literally, because he's writing books now, so he could take an album and put per chapter, a song per chapter. Like, this is how I'm gonna break it down. I don't have that gift. My gift is
Yeah.
is more tapping into what I feel, the life, what's going on,
Yeah.
what a song may speak to me, or a message that
Mm-hmm.
God may press on my heart. I wrote this record years ago called Father, I Trust You. And it was just an honest cry of my heart. It was one of those records that it's like, man, every time that I wake, I have to do this. I have to say, I trust you. In
Yeah.
every situation I go through, I may not know the outcome, but I know I can trust you. Like, those are real, honest, feelings and words and ones to live by, because we don't. It's a faith walk. We walk by faith, not by
Right.
sight. So
Yeah.
as we're walking this thing out, we don't know what's going to go on. We're just like, okay, God, direct me, lead me, guide me, correct me, and give them that opportunity. So I tap into the vibe, man. When I wrote Forever Love, it was for my kids. I wrote it for my kids, and I was going through a real nasty life storm, and I was fighting for custody of the kids. And anyways, long story short, when I put this record together, I actually came up with it as a lullaby to my kids when I was putting them to sleep. You know what I mean? Because I was tired of kind of having the twinkle, twinkle, little star stuff going on. I mean, I wanted to create something. So I made this easy, kind of rock. And when I brought it into the studio, with my dog Chuck, Heeman and I, we kind of looked at each other and was like, all right, what's the direction of this? And he goes, bro, that's your go-to. It's a reggae feel. You know what I mean? Backbeat, just relax, let your lyrics speak and do your thing. So it's cool, man, because I love that it's a song that dads can share with their kids. You know what I mean? And I didn't intend it to do the things that it's done, but it's resonating with people. And even Pandora picked it up and put it on a dad's song playlist for sons and daughters. You know what I mean? And I'm on the caliber with Rod Stewart and Nas and all sorts of guys, and I'm like, yo,
that's so cool, dude. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you never know where your gift. Never know where your gift takes you, and you never know the intent of what you write and how it's going to connect with people. So I'm just thankful. I'm tapping into the heart, you know what I mean, and expressing that and allowing God to just speak through the heart and allow my feelings to come out so we can connect with people.
Yeah,
it's funny, man, that you said that. Also, you helped me go up a little bit of cool factor. So I got two kids. Dane has a daughter, and I have two. And my 14-year-old, I was showing her. I always show them when I bring somebody on, like, hey, this is my artist guest this week. When I play Forever Love, she goes, Dad, you got Bob Marley on your show? like, no, sweetie, but he's cool, So you went up a cool level. She's like, he sounds like, or that Capleton guy. I was like, he'll love it. I'll let him know. So
that's
awesome.
dope, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
I
So
love
thanks,
it.
man, for making me look cool for my kid, bro. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, that's what it's all about, bro.
Right.
We gotta show the kid. Listen, the kids don't know. We flex. We do our thing, baby. Might as well.
I love it.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of whatever you said, you go where the music and your vibe takes you. Now that we're in 2025, what do you see on the horizon for you as the year progresses? What's some of the goals that you have that you want to reach for in the 2025 year?
Well, listen, I'm married to my beautiful wife, Corinne, and I am just infatuated with being with her. I love all the time we get to spend together. Constantly, we want to be around each other. So definitely the love mood has hit me to the core. I've come up with some really dope R&B records. One is To the Moon. Another one is for You Got a Vibe. Her and I put a dope spin to that record. I gave it to her for our anniversary, and we shot a video in Greece. And when we shot the video in Greece, I had this whole idea in mind. I love that my dog Will Thomas was able to help capture the vibe, capture the mood. And then I got a new one that's getting ready to come out. It's called The Funk. And it is just that, bro. I'm taking the old school back. I'm bringing that funky Parliament, meets
Bootsy Collins,
Earth,
huh?
Wind, Fire, Bootsy Collins, Cool in the Gang, because I love that style of music, and that art, was sampled so much in hip hop. So, I was
I like it.
Definitely inspired by the old school, man, and I put together, one heck of a record, bro. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it drops. Let me know, so because we'll promote it, of course, man. Let me know.
Sure.
We can put it out, man. I can't wait. It's 2025 has turned out to be a great year already.
Yeah.
There's a segment I guarantee you, Eddie, and all the media you've ever done, and all the shows you've been on, all the things you've done. I promise you, this segment we're about to do, you've never had a segment like this. So let me explain what this is called. This is called Rapid Fire. Now it's PG, but we're about to get real weird. I love this. There's only part we don't prep you for intentionally. What we do, kind of similar to Family Feud, me and Dane have 5 questions that we're going to ask you. Now, there's no wrong answer. What you do is you say what you think is right. We're betting lunch on what we think you're going to say. I'll present you with a scenario. You tell us what you think. No wrong answer. You go with the heart. Kind of like a Rorschach test, if you will, okay? We're picking your personality a little bit. Now, you could be in the past, the present. It's make-believe. There's no reality. You could be a cartoon. The segment gets crazy. So these are 5 rapid questions. You don't have to answer rapidly, but pick one of the 2. You go with what you think is right, okay?
Hit it.
So here we go. So you're invited by ESPN to come and judge the first ever Olympic hot potato competition. They want you to be a commentator. They want you like how I did that commentator for the hot potato contest? So they want you to be a commentator, and you get to pick your co-host for this Olympic hot potato tournament. You can co-host with Charles Barkley, love him, or you can co-host with Dennis Rodman, who's going to be your co-host for this hot potato tournament.
I would pick Barkley, bro.
Let's go. I had to.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have Barkley then?
Oh yeah, hands down Barkley. He's got to be the best thing on TV
awesome,
now.
Dude. I love that dude, man. He's awesome.
You could just hear him, man. That was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible, man.
That was a hot potato. Yeah, I can just see it now, man. Awesome. I love it. Okay, so let's see if we can. Me and Dane's won the last couple, so I'm gonna try to beat him on this. We already have our pick, so let's see. Next one, you get to take who you're known as today, Eddy of 2025. You're transplanted back into 1982, the artist that you are known as. Two of these dudes, I love them both. They both approach me and say, Eddy, we want you to drop a verse on one of my albums. These two dudes approach you. Teddy Pendergrass approaches you, and so does Luther Vandross. Who are we going with? Who are we going with?
Turn off the lights.
Okay. Dan, did you have that one?
Oh yeah, you got to go with Teddy P.
Teddy P, bro. I used to call me Eddy P in high school, man.
I love it. Okay, I love it. See, I felt that a little bit too when I was like studying your music. Okay, so we're spot on. Dane, we're tied. I know you're also a little bit. You do some coaching as well. So this next one, you get to go back to your 8U bitty ball self. Eddy goes back to be an 8-year-old, back when you're beginning to play basketball as a kid, and you get to be coached for one game by one of these two legends. Love them both. You can be coached by Magic Johnson for a game in your bitty ball days, or you can be coached by Karl Malone for a game. Magic, Karl Malone, who's going to be your coach?
Showtime, baby. I mean,
okay, let's go.
That's like my nickname, dog. You know what I mean?
I love it. Dan, what do you think, man?
That was a tough one. I picked the mailman. I had on that one.
Yeah, so I got you by one.
All right, so when we're talking about basketball, the mailman is definitely fundamentals. He brings that vibe, but Showtime is just that, man.
Oh yeah,
he has that vibe.
I love
Absolutely.
it. I love it. So this one goes to a little bit of your heritage in where you are in Florida. So you're asked to go on Food Network, and they do a lot of celebrity cook-off shows, right? They want you to go on there and kind of make a special like barbecue type thing. It's like one of those chop things. You get to choose your opponent. A lot of opponent questions. So you're going on Chopped. You got to represent like kind of your style of cuisine cooking, and your opponent you have to go against is either Tony Romo or Troy Aikman. Which one are you going with?
Oh man, you put me in the room with the legend. I'm all about it. Troy, baby. Aikman all day. Man, listen, when I was a kid, I was a diehard Cowboy fan because my parents, you know, when I was born, I was baptized by the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, in orange and blue. They lived and bled orange and blue, and big Gator fans. Obviously, you know, Coach graduated there. So the first real love I had for football was seeing Emmitt Smith play. So all of a sudden he graduates. I look at my old man going, "Hey, Pops, where's he going? Is he going to play again?" Yeah, son, he's going to go to the NFL. I said, "Where's he going to go?" "Well, we're going to find out, bro." He went to the Cowboys. And even though I'm from Miami and I love the 305, I love everything about Florida. I'm a Florida boy through and through. I had to root for the Cowboys. So Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, you know, Emmitt Smith, Daryl Johnston, Kelvin Martin. You know,
he knows the stuff, Dane. He knows
Deion Primetime Sanders.
I love it, dude. But he might be coming back. They're saying he might be coming back. So
see, you know. He's on the short list of that.
So
which one do you have, Dane?
Not to go off topic, but if Deion is going to be in the NFL, it's because he's going to coach his kids. You know, that's kind of what I believe. Like if he would go there, it's for Shador and it's for Shiloh. But I don't think that he would, you know, do it any other way.
Yeah,
I love it.
I can see
Dane,
that.
would you have? Did you have Troy, Dane?
I had Troy. Man, this is legend, man. Can't go away from the legend.
I got you by one. So let's see if we get this last one, Dane. You might have a chance of timing at best this one. So a lot of the 90s feel what you have. You're asked to go back into 1992. Two of these dudes are awesome action stars, and they want you to make a soundtrack, instrumental soundtrack for one of these two movies. Okay, it'd be between 1985 and 1995, that 10-year span. So you can go back and make a soundtrack for Bloodsport for Van Damme, or you can make the soundtrack for Terminator 2. Bloodsport, Terminator 2. Which way you going?
Oh, that's tough, man.
Mm.
I, I'd say Terminator.
Oh man,
I would go Terminator. Yeah,
Dude, would you
I'd
have
go
Dave?
Terminator. I like Bloodsport, but there was something about just that killer, instinct with the RoboCop kind of vibe. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you have Terminator, Dane?
Oh yeah. T2.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could just hear you like kind of making someone like Kumate. I could just hear you kind of get something going like when he's standing there. I could just hear like the beat dropping, but okay.
Bro,
Well,
do you
do you
remember Van Damme's face when he got that thing?
Yeah, man, yeah. There's, like that's what I'm saying. I can see the intent is because some of your songs get real like that intense drop. I can just see him kind of like knocking dudes out to one of your beats and all. But hey, it's okay. No wrong answer. No wrong answer.
Hey, tie goes to the runner. I would do that one too if it came to me. You know what I mean? So
I love it. Well, we tied it, man. Thank you for that. That's a little segment we call Rapid Fire, Eddie. Hopefully something a little different you haven't had and maybe you've had before. So love it. So Dan, I'll give it back to you for the last segment, man.
On this last segment, Eddie, we call it open mic. We kind of open the floor to our guests to maybe speak to some of those up and comers that are in either the music world, in the sports world, or anybody just trying to be their best selves and take the next step. We kind of ask our guests to maybe leave a couple of words of wisdom that they followed throughout their careers that will hopefully help that next generation be just as great. Is there something that you can maybe leave to some of our younger listeners that'll help them and inspire them as well?
Oh, for sure. I'm big on being thankful, having an attitude of gratitude, understanding that you have a gift like nobody else. You know what I mean? God uniquely created you to be you. So be that. Be just you. Don't be a clone or a carbon copy of nobody else. Respect the artist and what he's created, which is you. So once you tap into that vibe, you get to explore yourself and get to explore the things that make you tick and the things that make you unique and the things that make you special and what you have to offer, not only God, but other people. So for me, I'm thankful that I accepted the Lord early in my life and the seed was planted big time by my family. So thankful that seed was continued to water. It was tested, it was tried, but God is faithful. So I kept on pursuing, the things that he called me to do. And a lot of times I would pray for something to happen and it may not have happened exactly the way I wanted it to, but then it actually happened. Like one of the biggest things that I've always wanted was to be on ESPN. Love it. Big sports fan. When I was a young kid, I actually, was a sports commentator for my school. I was the morning announcement dude. I loved being involved. I had a sports talk column that I wrote. I loved being involved in the art of broadcasting.
Yeah.
So I didn't pursue broadcasting, for school wise, but I am broadcasting now via music, what I mean, and speaking and different things. So ESPN was always kind of one of those high achieving marks. I even called my sports show back in the days Eddy Puyol Sports Broadcasting, EPSB instead of ESPN. So I mean, it's a really big deal. I love the show.
I like it.
Long story short, always wanted my art to be on it. I had a bunch of records I thought that would actually be on it. Nothing ever happened. Well, all of a sudden I get stung to do a record. And I remember my little brother, Bobby, who would walk up every time to the plate, listening to my dog, Lil Rascal's song called Game Changer. So I said to him, we've been, friends, big shout out to Raz. I said, hey, why don't you and I, link up, let's revisit that record, let's put a spin to it. So he said, I'm down. So we did it, pitched it to ESPN, we got on the network. Bro, I was like, what? This seed that was planted by watching my little brother play baseball, it wasn't one of my songs he picked. I would think, you're going to pick up one of my records. You know what I mean? To walk to. No, he picked up one of my dogs. Okay, cool. Hey, hallelujah. At least great art is being shared, in the sports world. So I was thrilled. Then speed up, fast forward, I get to do it. And that's the first pick, you know what I mean? And we get on the show using that record. So God has a great, great way of kind of working through the details. Don't get so hung up on things. If you don't hit it the first time, don't give up. Keep pushing, keep pressing, and live by these 3 words. Figure it out. You can do it, man. All you got to do is make it happen, baby.
Man, figure it out. See, man, dude, I'll make a note. So I got a whole page of notes,
Yeah.
and I mean, I already hear so much listening to you, but then just taking a moment and just break down the way what makes you tick. Like you said, you're one of a kind. I love it, and I stand behind that, Eddie. Thank you for being one of a kind
Yeah.
and not sacrificing yourself for art, not sacrificing art for yourself, and bring God into that. I love that you didn't compromise on either one of those sides. What I think of when I hear you say that, is you're kind of going, "This is crazy." I was just reading this the other day. Your feet's being tested, planted by the fire, you're being tested, and just like the Hebrew boys, you weren't afraid to walk through the fire. You came out and you made it through it. So I think that's so cool that you didn't let the fire burn you. Like, you came out stronger than ever. So, man, I'm hyped up. Dane, help me, because you know.
Man, I appreciate that. Listen, I tell everybody that I encounter, God is faithful. It doesn't mean that you're not going to go through a storm. It doesn't mean that you're not going to go through pain. It doesn't mean that you're not going to go through things, but the beautiful thing about all those issues and all those things that I mentioned is that God is there with you. He's amongst you. He's not leaving you nor forsaking you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's holding your hand, and it may not feel like it, but the times that I think back, man, Josh, Dane, God has been so faithful in the little things and in the big things. I have stories upon stories upon stories that I could just brag and floss his faithfulness, man. So I'm thankful that, as I walk this out, I can be a living testimony that God is good, not just sometimes, all the time. So
Absolutely.
One thing we're studying now is prayer, and a lot of people don't know how to pray. And I'm teaching our kids. My wife and I are teaching our kids. You pray in conversation. You don't get hemmed up on trying to say all the right words and calling God all these high accolades. I mean, he is the God of the universe, the mighty king, the mighty warrior, all of that, the Lord of Lords, the big dog on campus, if you will.
Yourself.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. But he's asking to be called dad.
Oh, man.
So when you really dive in, to that, it's to me the illustration of, if God's heart was a pool, he's asking you to put your trunks on and jump in. You know what I mean? So I'm saturated head to toe, man, fully infatuated with his love, his kindness, his goodness, his faithfulness, and all his dopeness. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah.
Eddie, that just means with the stories, we'll have to do this, because I know we're pressed for time. So I'm going to make sure this is just part one of many, make it a returning thing, man. So I want to say thank you from Dane and I. Can't let this be the last time, man. We got to stay in touch. Obviously, let me know when new music drops. We'll be happy to share it. We'll promote it. So tell the family we said hi, man. Let's make this the first of many. Thank you so much for your time. Much love, and let's stay in touch, okay? So
thanks, baby. Appreciate it, man.
Take care, brother. So Dane, you can see why I love this dude, man. He's just one of a kind, I love this dude. So
yeah, it's very rare that we come out and our speeches after it that we can't put a nice tidy cap on it, because he said it all and more eloquent than we ever could. So, the message is strong. It's and the passion he brings with that is something that you can't help but straighten up and listen to and follow it. And I'll listen to this interview again and again, like I do with the rest of our shows, and it'll inspire you when you need it.
Relevant. He's relevant. He's relevant. Well, we need that right now. So
yeah. And go listen to his music. It's a great pick me up. It evokes any mood that you need. He's got it in his music.
I meant what I said, that he's got this blend of being himself, speaking good lyrics, but also being a talented musician. I can't say enough how much that impresses me, that you don't have to kind of pick and choose. And I love that about him. So, wow. What a great way to kick off January. What a great one. So, you guys, we got one more for you. Won't spoil the next one. Let's just say we got one more big one coming. So, on behalf of Dane and Josh, don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.
Okay, cool.